Today, we're flying on what is considered to be one of the world's best airlines, Singapore Airlines, on their A380 in business class from Singapore Changi to Frankfurt Airport. But with so many other carriers releasing new and revolutionary new business class seats, can Singapore Airlines actually still be considered one of the best in the world? We'll also discuss the controversy around their amenity kits, but more importantly, after having been released over 8 years ago, is Singapore Airlines business class still even worth it in this modern age? Let's find out on today's flight. Our trip starts off here at Changi Airport in Singapore. This is what the check-in counter looks like. There is a dedicated check-in counter for business class passengers, of course, and after getting ourselves checked in, it's now time to check out the lounge.
Hi, so I'm just here right now at Singapore Airlines SilverKris Lounge here at Changi Airport at Terminal 3. They do have another lounge at Terminal 2, but since our flight is departing from Terminal 3 today, we are here instead. But let me show you guys around because it is really, really nice in here.
Singapore Airlines SilverKris Lounge for business class is 32,000 square feet and was last renovated back in 2022 to the tune of $36.5 million. It is much nicer and newer than the Singapore Airlines SilverKris Lounge in Terminal 2 though, so try to visit this one in Terminal 3 instead if you can. In terms of food and beverages, there are 2 self-service buffet areas that provide a decent selection of both Asian and Western options. And when it comes to drinks, if you're more of a casual person, there is a self-service bar area. But if you prefer a little more attention, you could also go to the full-service bar as well and have a proper drink made for you too by a pro. My favorite part of the lounge though, other than the much-needed hit of caffeine from the espresso machines, is the made-to-order noodle bar. Here's a quick look at what the washrooms look like, and they are stocked with dental kits, lotions, and creams as well. There's also shower rooms and childcare rooms available as well. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to take a shower before the flight, but they are available if you do get the chance. But that's enough about the lounge, let's go catch our flight. Today, we'll be boarding out of gate A10. Now, if you've never flown out of Singapore Changi Airport before, they do things a little differently here because you'll go through security at your gate right before you board instead of at a central location. This is supposed to help cut down on security congestion since you'll only be going through security with the people on your flight and not with everyone who happens to be at the airport at the same time as you are. After clearing security, we'll get our passport checked and our boarding pass scanned. And then we're kind of just thrown into this holding area here until all the other passengers have finished clearing security. Here's a quick look at the tail of our A380 today, and after a few minutes, it's time for us to board. The boarding process for some reason was really hectic. Nobody seemed to know what was going on, and they kind of just let everyone rush in all at once, which I found really odd. And because we're flying on the A380 today, we are sitting on the upper level, which is shared by first class on the front of the plane and business class at the rear, whereas the lower deck is shared by premium economy and economy passengers. Our A380 today has 78 business class seats that were designed by UK company JPA Design and manufactured by Japan's Jamco. The seats in business class are arranged in a 1-to-1 configuration and of a 60-inch row pitch. I'm sitting in seat 12K today, and there seems to be some damage in the corner edge here, but that's no biggie. As for the seats themselves, they're upholstered in a nice thick leather and have a 25-inch width. And off to the side under the window, there's a storage compartment with headphones, menu, safety card, and a bottle of water. Up on top, there's a small reading light, and directly underneath, a 3-prong headphone jack and a USB-A port. Alright, a slight pause in the seat tour because the FA comes by to offer a welcome drink. There was an option between white wine, orange juice, and a Bellini. I chose the Bellini, which is a mix of Moscato and peach juice, and it fit perfectly on this small cocktail tray which is located to the left of the IFE. To the right of the IFE, there's a storage compartment, although I'm not really sure what you would want to store in here. And for those of you that feel the need to check yourself out, there's a mirror and a light that flips out as well. And finally, there's also a universal charge port, another USB-A port, and even though this looks exclusively like a payment system up on top, it is an NFC device which can also be used to pair wireless headphones with. Although it doesn't actually work because Singapore Airlines still hasn't implemented Bluetooth capability, even though these business class seats have been around since 2017. Before takeoff, we're also offered a hot towel, and then it's time for the safety video and takeoff.
On behalf of Singapore Airlines, we hope you have a great time on board as well as in Singapore or anywhere else in the world we take you.
Shortly after takeoff, it's now time for the welcome service, so I pop out the tray from the side table. I order a glass of champagne, and because Singapore Airlines is not like the other airlines, they don't do the standard pretzels or warm mixed nuts for their welcome service. They, of course, have their signature chicken satay skewers, which are absolutely phenomenal. These were so juicy and flavorful. Alright, in the meantime, let's go check out the lavatories. There are 5 lavatories on the A380 for business class. 4 are located in between the 2 main cabins for business class, and 1 is located at the very back of the business class cabin. There is a baby change table and a toilet, of course, but more importantly, there is a foot pedal to open the garbage. This garbage lid wasn't working though, so it stayed open the entire flight, which is fine by me as long as I don't have to touch it. In terms of amenities, there are soaps and lotions and fragrance from UK brand Penhaligon's. Next to the mirror, there's also an amenity drawer filled with goodies like hairbrushes, dental kits, razors, as well as shaving cream. Serious question though, who exactly is doing a full shave inside of an airplane washroom? Wrong answers only, please. Alright, let's head back to our seats now because it's now time for the lunch service. Back at our seats, let's check out both the lunch menu as well as the drink menus. The drink menu in particular is especially extensive. It spanned over 12 pages on the paper menu, but I've opted to show you the online version because it just seems easier. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read it in more detail. It's long. Really long. This is what the lunch menu looks like if you don't pre-order. There are 4 main options available, but if you take advantage of Singapore Airlines Book the Cook pre-order service, you'll have over 40 main options to choose from. The options available will vary depending on the route that you're taking, but definitely take advantage of Book the Cook because they do have options on there that are not available to you than if you wait to order on board. The meals are served course by course, and the appetizer comes first, of course. It's a U10 scallop and prawn salad, and it is as delicious as it is beautiful. Next comes the main. I ordered the yakiniku, which I ordered off Book the Cook. If you have this as an option, you absolutely need to get it. The A4 Wagyu is grilled yakiniku style, and it just melts like butter in your mouth. It's so tender. It's served with some steamed rice and roasted vegetables. This was definitely one of the best things I've ever eaten on an airplane. I also got some garlic bread because everyone knows that garlic bread is the superior bread. Oh, and in case anyone was curious, my boyfriend ordered the bok choy mee soup with egg noodles and pork. He thought that this was so good that he was convinced that they must have a full kitchen on the plane. I assured him that there is no kitchen on the plane, even if this is a massive A380. And finally, as someone with a sweet tooth, my favorite part of any meal is dessert. The crew rolls up with the dessert cart, and I decide on the banana cheesecake topped with butter crumble. This was super creamy, delicious, and most importantly, not too sweet. As for my boyfriend, he decided to get the fruit and cheese platters for dessert, which also looked really great. And because one dessert apparently isn't enough, the crew also stops by and offers us some chocolate pralines. I went with the salted caramel and it was amazing. I could have eaten 20 of these, but I didn't, mainly because the last thing I need is the embarrassment of being rolled off this plane. And now that lunch is done, it's time for us to talk about the controversy surrounding Singapore Airlines Amenity Kits.
All right, so I want to talk about the Singapore Airlines Amenity Kit a little bit, just because the Amenity Kit for Singapore Airlines is a point of contention for a lot of people. Reason being is because Singapore Airlines only provides an amenity kit for flights that are longer than 6 hours, and it's only available upon request. So people really don't like the fact that you have to request the amenity kit. They feel like, it's business class. You're paying a lot of money. The amenity kit should already be waiting for you at your seat like it is for a lot of airlines. Other people say they don't care. They don't care about the amenity kit. It helps to cut down on waste for something that they don't even want. You know, I'm sure it also helps Singapore Airlines bottom line a little bit because they're also not giving out, amenity kits for people that don't want it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, though. Do you think that you should have to ask for the amenity kit, or would you rather just have it waiting for you at your seat?
As for the amenity kit itself, it's by New York-based company Le Labo and made out of a wax canvas material. Inside the amenity kit are a Le Labo lip balm, hand cream, and face mist.
Okay, one last thing about these amenity kits, though. I do think that there is a missed opportunity here, just because Le Labo is actually famous for their fragrances, so I think it would have been nice for them to include a small vial of Le Labo fragrance. Even better would be if they created a, Singapore Airlines exclusive Le Labo fragrance that is only available in the amenity kits. But let me know what you guys think that signature fragrance should be. Does anyone out there want to smell like Singapore Airlines chicken satay skewers?
In terms of other amenities that are available, there are slippers, socks, earplugs, hairbrushes, and an eye mask. And yes, these are all also available only upon request, just like the amenity kit. Alright, that is enough about amenities. After ordering myself a nice cup of tea, let's talk about the IFE. The IFE is an 18-inch touchscreen display, although there's also a remote available if you prefer to use that as well. In terms of actual entertainment, it actually has a good selection of over 1,900 movies, TV shows, and music albums. I also really like the fact that they had a section devoted to TV shows that had complete seasons available. And unfortunately, while they don't have any external cameras on this IFE, they do have your standard issue flight map for those of you that like to raw dog your flights. Other than raw dogging a flight though, you could also make use of the complimentary Wi-Fi that's provided to all passengers as long as you're a member of the Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer loyalty program, so make sure you sign up for that. Alright, so since I mentioned earlier that there is no Bluetooth connectivity despite installing the NFCs for it, let's talk about the headphones. These are noise cancelling and they are decently good. They also come with these earphone covers that you can slip on top of the headset. I can only guess that these are for sanitary purposes, maybe, but let me know if you know the reason. Afterwards, the FA came by and offered to put the seat in lie flat mode as well as make up the bed for me. In lie flat mode, the bed is 78 inches and comes with a mattress cover, blanket, and 2 pillows. I will say that the blanket was fairly thin, but it was sufficient given the temperature of the cabin. I didn't find myself getting too hot or too cold. And just to demonstrate, this is what it looks like when you're laying down. Because the footwell is off to the side next to the window, you do have to sleep at an odd angle, which a lot of people, myself included, do find a bit awkward. Oh, and this is what the inside of the footwell looks like. It is a bit cramped, and for reference, my feet are size 7 in women's, so best of luck to people with even bigger feet than I have. A few hours later, they turn on all the lights and give us hot towels because it's now time to eat again. On the left of the menu was a delectable menu, which was basically a snack menu that you can order off of throughout the entire flight. On the right, there was a pre-arrival menu or light dinner menu. I didn't get a chance to order from the delectable snack menu because I was way too full from the earlier meal, but I definitely saved room for dinner because I ordered off Book the Cook again instead of the onboard menu. And what I chose for my main was pretty unbelievable. But first, we start off with the appetizer, which was prawns with lemon-scented oil, and a legume salad with yuzu, soy, and some sesame dressing. This was really light and refreshing and a great way to start off the meal. Plus, look how juicy that shrimp is. The FA also stopped by with the bread basket again, and I of course had to get more garlic bread. It's worth having garlic breath for, if you ask me. I also got this flatbread cracker, and it was also really good. Lots of great texture and crunch. Next, the main came. I ordered it off Book the Cook, and it was unbelievable. It was also my first time having lobster thermidor on a plane. The lobster thermidor was cooked in a cognac and Dijon mustard cream sauce with fondant potatoes, button mushrooms, and roasted vegetables. I have to say this is a bit of a pinch me moment for me. Never did I ever imagine I'd be eating lobster on an airplane. And of course, there was dessert. This was a cacao mousse with banana, avocado, raspberries, and crumbled pistachios. This was sadly just so-so. I don't care what anyone says, avocados do not belong in dessert. And as we start to make our way into Frankfurt Airport, let's talk about how much all this cost.
Alright, so let's talk about cost. I did redeem points for this, and it was 60,000 Aeroplan points per person, plus around $105 Canadian per person in taxes and fees. So for both me and my boyfriend, that would have been 120,000 Aeroplan points, plus $210 Canadian in taxes and fees.
And as we land and deboard the plane, there are a lot of pros and cons to Singapore Airlines business class. First, the cons. The seats have been around for several years now, having been released in 2017, and it definitely shows. While they're still roomy and comfortable, they don't quite compare to a lot of other carriers in these current times. They lack a privacy door, and even though they installed the NFC technology that can be used for Bluetooth capability, for some reason it was never actually implemented even after all these years. Unsurprisingly though, they do really excel in soft product. The lounge is beautiful, the food on board was phenomenal, and the service is definitely world-class. Singapore Airlines has some of the most gracious and attentive crew on the ground and in the skies by far. And while they haven't announced any official plans for new seats on the A380, they did announce that they will be launching a new business class on their A350s and eventually the 777Xs. Here's the little teaser that they released for the new business class, which looks like it will include privacy doors to keep in line with what most airlines have these days. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think business class on Singapore Airlines is still worth it and still one of the best in the world? Or would you rather fly on other airlines until new seats are installed? Thanks for joining me on board today as always. And if you've made it to the end here, don't forget to subscribe and like the video so you can join me on more flights like this one.